The entrance door of the Cecil Hotel squeaked eerily as I stepped through. A musty smell of bygone times seemed to linger in the air. The gloomy, old-fashioned lamps on the walls flickered as if trying to dispel the darkness, but it persisted stubbornly. I checked in and entered the elevator, whose doors closed with a chilling creak. A peculiar whisper echoed in the corridors, as if the walls themselves could tell stories. The wooden steps of the staircase creaked under my shoes, and I couldn't shake the feeling that invisible eyes were watching me. Arriving in my room, I heard footsteps outside that defied explanation. I looked out the window, but the street below me was deserted. A cold shiver ran through me, and I felt as if the hotel had a life of its own, a consciousness that eluded reality. Night fell, accompanied by an eerie howl of the wind. The bed squeaked as I lay down, and the thin curtains moved to the rhythm of an invisible presence. The feeling of loneliness was accompanied by a faint laughter that seemed to hover through the room. Sleep eluded me as strange shadows moved across the walls. Whispering voices echoed through the corridors, followed by a muffled knocking. The Cecil Hotel seemed to come alive, its dark secrets unfolding in the silence of the night. In a sleepless night, I decided to defy the somber corridors of the Cecil Hotel. The elevator opened with a ghostly growl, as if reluctantly willing to transport me into the depths of the unknown. The buttons dimly lit as I randomly selected one floor after another. The doors closed with an ominous hiss, and the elevator started moving, accompanied by a mysterious hum. As I glided through the floors, I felt the atmosphere thickening. The light flickered, and a cold breath swept over my skin. When the doors opened, I found myself in a corridor not listed on the hotel's maps. The carpet under my feet was faded, as if time had forgotten it. Muttered voices seemed to emanate from the walls, and I followed their whispers as if in a trance. The climax of the mystery revealed itself in the elevator. As I entered the cabin, a distorted reflection of myself echoed in the mirrored walls. The doors closed, and the elevator started moving, but not in the usual way. It was as if invisible hands had taken control. The surveillance video showing me in the elevator became a mirror of my confusion. The camera captured my anxious glances as I experienced the unbelievable. A fleeting glimpse of something inexplicable happening outside the frame left my eyes wide open in astonishment. The doors opened again, and I found myself in a deserted place that seemed out of place in this world. The mystery of the elevator was only the beginning, and the hotel harbored more secrets than I could have ever imagined. In the following days, the uncanny atmosphere at the Cecil Hotel intensified. Every corridor seemed to morph into a labyrinth, its walls exchanging hushed whispers about past tragedies. The images on the walls stared at me with unyielding eyes, as if capable of reading my thoughts. The hotel's hallways stretched endlessly, and I lost track of time. Shadows flitted past the walls, whispering and unseen. A peculiar tingling on my skin accompanied me, and I felt surrounded by something invisible. The sounds heightened in the darkness. A muffled knocking reverberated through the walls, as if the hotel itself sought redemption. I dared not look outside, afraid that emptiness would swallow me whole. Yet, the footsteps pursued me, no matter where I went. Strange symbols suddenly etched themselves on the doors, as if attempting to convey a message. The whispering intensified into an incessant murmur that seemed to corrode my sanity. Every room held a secret, and I was ensnared in a nightmare of the past and present. In the silence of the night, faint laughter echoed through the corridors, laughter that seemed otherworldly. I lost myself between the walls, sharing their stories, and the hotel itself became a living organism, ensnaring me in its ominous clutches. The invisible menace spread, and I couldn't escape. On the night before I disappeared, guided by unseen forces, I found myself on the roof of the Cecil Hotel. The sky was veiled by ominous clouds, and the wind whispered secret messages. I stood before the water tanks, silent guardians of the hotel's mysteries. An eerie glow surrounded the ladder leading to the tanks. Each step upward felt like ascending an invisible staircase of shadows. Whispering voices accompanied me, an irresistible force propelling me forward, as if I could find the answer to the puzzle. The hatch of the water tank opened silently, and I found myself in darkness. An unexplainable compulsion urged me to submerge, and I felt the icy water enveloping me. The hotel seemed to hold its breath, as if awaiting the finale of this sinister performance. The camera footage only shows my figure ascending into the water tank before darkness swallows me. No scream, no resistance, only the sense that something greater than myself had guided me. The hatch closed with a muted echo, and I was trapped in the imperviousness of the water. The Vanishing was a moment between worlds, between the invisible and reality. The Cecil Hotel had released its puppet, and the truth faded into the mysterious depths of the water tanks. Was it a sacrifice or a liberation? Only the hotel knows the answer to the somber mystery of my disappearance. After my mysterious disappearance, the Cecil Hotel fell into ominous silence. The hallways appeared empty and forsaken, as if the presence of the hotel's dark history seeped through the walls. Anyone entering the doors could hear the whispers of the past. Surveillance cameras continued to record, but the footage revealed nothing but deserted corridors and ghostly shadows. The secret of the Cecil Hotel veiled itself in the shadowy rooms and forgotten corridors, where the stories of past guests interwove into an impenetrable web. Those who embarked on the quest for truth encountered locked doors and mysterious symbols blocking their path. The hotel's history was a puzzle of faded memories and unspoken horrors, enticing only the bravest to dig deeper. The echoes of the past reverberated in the walls, as if the hotel itself whispered, a lament of those lost within its walls. The corridors seemed to elongate, turning into an infinite labyrinth that swallowed the curious. The secret of the Cecil Hotel was like a dark shadow hovering over its structure. Even when guests departed, their presence lingered, and those entering the hotel felt the existence of something inexplicable. The hotel itself preserved its dark tales in hidden corners, and the secret of my past seemed indelibly anchored within its walls. Years passed, and the Cecil Hotel remained a place of horror, a monument to past tragedies. Those who had the courage to cross its threshold felt the eerie presence trapped within its walls. It was as if the dark shadows of the past would never completely dissolve. The whispers in the corridors never ceased. Every creak, every gust of wind seemed to be an echo of history. Those who attempted to solve the puzzle were held back by invisible hands, as if the hotel itself wanted to shield them from the abyss of its secrets. Surveillance cameras continued to record, but the footage showed only the emptiness of deserted corridors. Shadows seemed to dance in locked rooms, and a faint whisper told tales of long-forgotten tragedies. The infinite shadows that draped over the hotel were like a curse stretching through time. Every creak of the floorboards, every soft laughter seemed a reenactment of the ominous past. The Cecil Hotel retained its secrets, and those who tried to comprehend the unfathomable disappeared into the impenetrable mists of history. The epilogue of the Cecil Hotel remains an endless story of shadows and secrets, a nightmare engraved in its structure. A place where the boundary between reality and the supernatural blurs, and those who enter the hotel feel the eternal presence of the infinite shadows.